Hello and welcome to In the Zone, your one-stop source for the latest news on Intel through our Tech Provider Zone site. Joining me today, as always, is Peter Krass, editor of the Tech Provider Zone. And again, we're going to spend a few minutes chatting about some of the hottest stories on Tech Provider Zone. But today's episode is going to center around a single theme, which is conducting business in a post-pandemic world, which we all hope will be here sooner than later. And depending on where you're watching this, maybe you're further along the curve than everyone else, but just know that we're all thinking of you and we're all pulling together to move us forward out of this situation we've been in for a long time. Peter, let's start by talking about contactless payments. It's one of the things that people talk about so much with the pandemic, and I think it's one of those things that's probably going to resonate once we get beyond it. Why do you think that the contactless payments are going to be here to stay once we get out of the pandemic?
Yeah, thanks. Well, to figure this out, Visa, the credit card company, did a big survey recently. They talked to 250 owners of small and mid-sized businesses and then 1,000 consumers. And two-thirds of consumers, 65%, say they want to use contactless payments more now than they do than in the past. Sorry. Only 16% think they'll go back to older methods of payment. And about half of them say if a store doesn't offer contactless payments, they're not going to shop there. 4 in 10 SMBs accept it now. And looking ahead, about 3/4 of them say consumers will continue to prefer this. So it's like a new habit that seems like it's really sinking in.
Perfect. Now let's talk about we talk about this sort of like this touchless remote idea. Let's talk about remote manageability. How does let's talk specific solutions here. How does the Intel Endpoint Management Assistant help make remote management more manageable?
Yeah. Well, big issue for our readers is if they're doing PC support and PCs go down, they have problems. You have to get a guy in a truck. He's got to drive out to wherever the customer is. And it takes a lot of time. And people don't want visitors coming into their shops right now, masks or no masks. So there's a new feature called Endpoint Management Assistant. It's in the Intel vPro platform, short EMA, EMA. And this allows you to do that kind of work remotely. Before, vPro only worked behind the firewall. Now you can basically service a PC no matter where it is. And you can get in there and whatever the end user is seeing, you can see.
Excellent. And then last one for today, let's talk about touchless kiosks.
Yeah,
Are there any solutions out there that'll help folks transition to touchless systems?
absolutely. So again, people are reluctant to be touching things. We talked about this with the credit cards. So you have all these touch screens, like I have touch screens at my bank. All of a sudden, do you want to touch this thing? Is it clean? Who touched it before me? Is this safe? So people are coming up with solutions where you don't actually need to touch it. You just kind of move your fingers around. Intel's got something with its RealSense system. You put a special kind of camera up there. You have this new software. It's called RealSense Touchless Control Software. It's not the most exciting title, but it kind of tells you what it does. And basically, people can point to things without actually having to touch the screen.
I think one of the things of the pandemic that has sort of really resonated with people is it's gone on so long at this point that I think it's not one of those temporary solution things. I think now you're seeing so much has happened over the last year plus that there's been actual time to brainstorm, develop, and even now, as you're going to see, release these solutions out into the public. So Peter, as always, thanks so much. For everyone watching, check out Tech Provider Zone for the latest news about Intel and technology. It's updated constantly, and it's always a good stop on your technology day. Peter, thank you for your time. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a great day. Thanks everyone.